Hello, welcome to today's edition of Pegasus Test. On today's edition, we're going to review dead ringer pistol sights. I bought these dead ringer sights because I thought I got a really good deal. I got 3 sets for my Glocks, and they were under $100 for the 3 sets. So I thought, wow, I've really scored a good deal. I've got some 3-dot sights during the day, and I've got night sights. So yeah, I've bought a lot of surplus Glocks, and I've been building some with the P80s that I've been doing, so I'm like, hey, I'm going to upgrade these sights, because the surplus Glocks, when you get them, night sights are usually long dead. That's why they're surplus, to be honest, because there's nothing else wrong with the pistols. So I thought, hey, under $100, I can fix 3 pistols, why not? Well, there's some really good reasons for why not. The first one, flat out, is the reason we buy sights: accuracy. At 25 feet, these things will shoot 6 inches low when you're aiming center mass. So imagine at 25 feet, well then move your target to 50 or 75. I mean, by 75 feet you're not even on the target anymore, it's so off. And that was across 3 pistols, a Glock 21 and 45, a Glock 17 and 9mm, and a Glock 34 and 9mm as well. So they all shot low. To various degrees. Now on the Glock 34, being in a longer slide length, it seemed to somewhat minimize that shooting low. Wasn't that bad. But on the Glock 21 and the Glock 17, it was just horrendous. I mean, it was, it was practically unusable. So I decided to switch these sights out. And that's where the real fun began that I'm going to go over in this video with some close-ups. In the fact that on the Glock 21, I took the sights off, went and got some Trigicons, put it on there, and you know what? It's worked out. It was a good move to do, and it's holding up good. So no harm, no foul. I tried some cheap sights, learned my lesson, went and got the Trigicons. Now I've got those on my Glock 21, and it's looking good. It's shooting good. Point of aim, point of impact, everything we'd expect our pistols to do. On my Glock 17 is where I started to run into some problems. On my 17 I run a Zev slide on it, and I put the sight in the sight base, the dead ringer sight that is, and as I put it in, it wasn't measured correctly. So as I was cranking in, I thought it was hard. What I didn't realize it was doing as I was cranking in, was shaving off a little metal. I didn't realize it till I got the sight in place, and I was like, oh shit. But I took the gun out and I shot it, and that's when I was like really depressed, because while it shaved some metal off and I got it in place, I figured, well, if it works, oh well, who cares? Well, the problem is it didn't work. Just like on the Glock 21, it shot 6 inches low too. And that was really depressing. And I even tested against another Glock just to make sure it wasn't me, and no, it wasn't me, it was the sights. So I decided, all right, learn the lesson here, took the sights off, went and got some Trigicons, put them on, and my next set of problems began. And that was that little bit of metal that shaved off when I put the dead ringer on. Well, it was just enough, so when I put the Trigicons on, it's like, okay, yeah, they fit. All right, life's good. Then I go start firing, and 15 rounds into it, the sight's backed right out and ready to fall off. And now, even though I had to put a sight tool to put it on, now under the stress of firing, I can take the Trigicon sight, push it with my finger. So the dead ringer damaged my pistol. You can see here we have the dead ringer front sight. Looks like any Glock front sight. Works on a post, has the little nut to hold it in. And as you can see here, it's got its little tritium insert and a little bit of white disc around it that helps them to be visible. I mean, when you mount them on the pistol, you think this is going to be a good, viable system. Here we have the dead ringer rear sight, and it has bright white dots for daylight, does glow in dark at night, and the problem we have is the base here. Try to get that in the light for everybody. But yeah, that base right there looks like a normal Glock base, doesn't look like anything wrong with it. The problem you have with it, it's not the right size, so it shaves off a little metal in the slide like I've shown earlier. And because of that, if you don't like these sights or they don't work for you, you've just damaged your gun. Now, it's not major damage, but it's inconvenient damage. When you put the new rear sight on, it's not going to fit properly. It'll come loose under firing. So you have the option of either putting in some JB weld to hold it there permanently, or in the case of my slide where I'm using a Zev slide that has a removable plate that the sight dovetail goes into, I'll just get another plate for it. But it's an inconvenience. Here I bought these sights that were under $40, and they've caused me $60+ in expense to repair the damage. And not only that, they weren't even good sights. Dead ringer sights in the daylight. As you can see right here, you got a nice white dot up front. right up there, and you got two big white dots here in the back. So in daylight, these things do function as functional sights, and they do fit your Glock. And at night, they do glow, as we'll show later in the video. Here we have the dead ringers doing what the one thing they do is glow. As you can see, this is the rear sight through a camera. The camera resolution doesn't pick up the front sight, but I can assure you it is there, and I do have it lined up between the two dots. This is the one thing that the dead ringer does do. It does glow. What's not super nice about dead ringer sights is they're not made very well. Yes, they're bright and white and you can see them during the day. Yes, they do actually glow at night, which is, kind of a plus for night sights. But as you can see here on my Zev slide here, I put them on thinking I had a pretty good sighting system, and it took a nice gouge of metal out. But it held in solid and I wasn't too worried about it. Well, then I fired them, and then that's when all the problems began. The worst part is when I decided, hey, these sights are not for me, and I removed them, the damage they did to the slide plate here on the slide meant that when I put real good sights on, like a set of Trigicons, they wouldn't fit properly anymore. So before I got through the first magazine of fire, the rear sight was already coming off. So, not only did the dead ringers not work for me due to their poor performance, but they damaged the gun to the point that I couldn't use another sight with them. And I'm going to work on getting that rectified. But the point of it is, beware. This is buyer beware kind of stuff, because when you buy these things, you're getting more than you bargained for, and not in a good way. It's not often I come out and completely trash a product, but this time I'm going to have to. Pistol sights are supposed to be one thing: accurate. The next thing they're supposed to be is durable, and then they're supposed to be able to be seen. There are about 1,000 different ways to have sights. You can have dots, 3-dot pattern, you can have dots on top of dots, you can have dots on top of lines, you can have a dot within the U, you can have no coloring on them whatsoever, you can have any color combination you want, you can have them glow in the dark, you can have them not glow in the dark. So visibility becomes the last part. Accuracy first, durability second, then visibility. Well, they've got it wrong at Dead Ringer. They're not accurate. I mean, they do not shoot at point of aim. The second thing is they're not particularly durable because of the damage they do to your gun. So once you commit to the Dead Ringer sight, you've committed to it, because you're not going to have anything afterwards. If you're lucky enough to have a pistol where the rear sight goes into a dovetail on an adapter plate, well, great. You can replace your adapter plate. A low-cost fix. But if it's a milled slide, if the cut for the rear sight's milled in the slide and you've damaged it, well, now you've got problems, because you could need to replace the whole slide, or at least spend a lot of money with a gunsmith getting it milled properly, which is its own set of problems. So these are not good sights. The only thing they've got going for them is day and night visibility. They are very bright in the day. The 3 dots are very clear to see, although I don't think it comes out that well on camera, unfortunately. And at night, best I tried with my camera here, you can see that they do glow, and they're very easy to see at night. Problem: if they don't hit where you're aiming at, that's kind of really a moot point, isn't it? We hope you found this edition of Pegasus Tests helpful and informative. Please tune in for future sighting system tests, and comment, like, and subscribe below. Thank you very much.